The sun dipped low over the golden fields of Willow Creek Farm, casting long shadows that seemed to whisper secrets of betrayal. Old man Harlan Whitaker, at 90 years young, clutched the fraudulent deed in his trembling hands, his eyes widening in horror as he realized the slick-talking developer had swindled him out of the land his family had tilled for generations. In that shattering moment, the weight of a lifetime's labor crumbled, leaving Harlan with nothing but a hollow chest and a burning resolve that would ignite a legend. Harlan had always been a man of the earth. Born in the dust of the Great Depression, he learned early that soil held more than crops. It cradled memories, dreams, and the unyielding spirit of those who worked it. His farm wasn't just acres of corn and wheat. It was the place where he buried his parents, raised his children, and found solace after his beloved wife, Eliza, passed away 20 years ago from a sudden illness that no doctor could explain. Eliza's grave sat under the old oak tree at the edge of the property, a simple stone marker where Harlan still whispered his daily confessions. "I promised you I'd keep this place for our grandkids," he'd say, his voice cracking like dry earth underfoot. But now, at 90, with arthritis gnawing at his joints and his eyesight fading, Harlan had let his guard down. It started innocently enough. A young executive named Victor Langston arrived one crisp autumn morning, his polished shoes sinking into the mud as he flashed a smile brighter than his luxury car's chrome. Victor represented Apex Developments, a company hungry for land to build luxury condos and shopping centers. "Mr. Whitaker," he said smoothly, "your farm is prime real estate. We're offering top dollar enough to retire in comfort, maybe even travel the world." Harlan chuckled at the thought. The world beyond Willow Creek held no allure for him. But Victor persisted, painting pictures of financial security for Harlan's estranged son, who lived in the city and rarely visited. "Think of your family," Victor urged, sliding papers across the weathered kitchen table. Harlan's son, Thomas, had left the farm decades ago, chasing dreams in the corporate jungle. Their relationship was strained, marked by arguments over modernization versus tradition. Thomas called occasionally, but his voice always carried the impatience of city life. Still, Harlan loved him fiercely, and the thought of leaving something substantial behind tugged at his heart. Victor exploited that vulnerability, forging signatures on documents that undervalued the land by half and included clauses Harlan couldn't decipher through his bifocals. By the time Harlan signed, believing it was a fair deal, the ink had sealed his doom. The betrayal hit like a thunderclap. Days after the signing, bulldozers rumbled onto the property, their metal teeth poised to devour the fields. Harlan stood in the doorway of his modest farmhouse, watching in disbelief as workers erected fences and posted "no trespassing" signs. He confronted Victor, who arrived in a suit as crisp as ever. "This ain't right," Harlan rasped, his voice trembling with rage. "You tricked me, you snake." Victor smirked, adjusting his tie. "Business is business, old man. You signed the papers. Now, vacate the premises, or we'll have the sheriff escort you out." That night, Harlan sat alone in the empty house, the walls echoing with ghosts of laughter from better days. He thought of Eliza, how she'd bake apple pies from their orchard and sing hymns while hanging laundry. The farm was their legacy, a testament to hard work and humility. Losing it felt like losing her all over again. Tears streamed down his wrinkled cheeks, but amid the despair, a spark ignited. Harlan wasn't just old. He was wise, forged in the fires of adversity. He recalled stories from his youth tales of clever farmers outwitting greedy landlords during the land grabs of the past. "Revenge ain't about violence," his father used to say. "It's about outsmarting the fool who thinks he's smarter." Determined, Harlan began plotting. He pored over the deed with a magnifying glass, spotting inconsistencies in the fine print. But he needed help. His hands shook too much to research properly, and the local library's computers baffled him. That's when he remembered Mabel, the town librarian, a spry 70-year-old widow who'd always had a soft spot for him. Mabel had helped Eliza with genealogy research years ago, tracing the Whitaker family back to the original settlers. Harlan hobbled into the library the next day, his cane tapping rhythmically on the wooden floor. "Mabel, I need your eyes and your smarts," he said, sliding the deed across the counter. Her brows furrowed as she examined it. "Harlan, this looks fishy. Let me dig into Apex developments. Together, they uncovered Victor's history of shady deals lawsuits from other elderly landowners who'd been similarly duped. Mabel's research revealed that Apex was skirting environmental regulations, planning to build on wetlands that Harlan's farm partially encompassed. If we can prove this land is protected, Mabel said excitedly, we might stop them cold. As days turned to weeks, Harlan and Mabel formed an unlikely alliance. She introduced him to online forums where victims of land scams shared stories, and Harlan dictated emails to lawyers pro bono. But the process was slow, and the bulldozers inched closer. Harlan felt time slipping away, his body weakening with each passing day. One evening, as he sat by Eliza's grave, he whispered, I won't let them take you from me. The wind rustled the leaves, as if in agreement. Then came the first twist, an unexpected visitor. Harlan's grandson, Jake, whom he hadn't seen in years, showed up unannounced. Jake, a 25-year-old environmental activist from the city, had heard about the farm's sale through Thomas. Grandpa, Dad told me what happened. I'm here to help. Jake's arrival shifted everything. With his tech-savvy skills, he filmed the bulldozers encroaching on protected areas and posted videos online, rallying support from conservation groups. Harlan watched in awe as Jake's passion mirrored his own youthful fire. I thought your generation forgot about the land, Harlan admitted. Jake smiled. We haven't forgotten. We've just been fighting different ways. Together, the trio Harlan, Mabel, and Jake uncovered a deeper scandal. Victor wasn't just a developer. He had ties to corrupt officials who fast-tracked permits. Jake's videos went viral, drawing media attention and sparking protests at the farm's gates. Harlan, once isolated, now stood amid a crowd of supporters, his frail frame bolstered by collective outrage. The kitchen built as Apex threatened lawsuits, but Harlan's resolve hardened. He began sharing stories of the farm's history at town meetings, his voice quivering with emotion, reminding everyone of the human cost of greed. One poignant moment came during a community gathering. Harlan spoke of the oak tree, how it had witnessed weddings, births, and burials. This land ain't just dirt, he said, tears glistening. It's the heart of who we are. The audience, moved, pledged their aid. Mabel revealed a hidden gem. Old maps showing the farm included a historic Native American site, adding another layer of protection. Jake used this to petition the state for preservation status. As the pressure mounted, Victor cracked. He offered to buy back the land at a premium, but Harlan refused. I want justice, not your dirty money. The turning point arrived when Jake discovered forged environmental reports in Apex's files, hacked ethically with help from activist friends. Exposed, Victor faced investigations, his empire crumbling. Harlan's revenge wasn't destruction, it was restoration. With the land returned through court order, he deeded it to a community trust, ensuring it remained farmland forever. Jake stayed to help manage it, bridging generations. Mabel became a close friend, sharing evening teas under the oak. In the end, Harlan's story spread far, a legend of wit over might, teaching that age brings not weakness, but unbreakable wisdom. The farm bloomed anew, a symbol of resilience. But whispers of unfinished business lingered, as Victor vowed revenge from afar. The legend of Harlan Whitaker grew, but so did the shadows of those who sought to undermine it. As spring breathed life back into Willow Creek Farm, Harlan awoke to the sound of engines rumbling in the distance, not bulldozers this time, but something more insidious. Victor Langston, though disgraced, had allies in high places, and they weren't done yet. Harlan leaned on his cane, peering out the window at the unmarked vans parked along the road. Men in suits disembarked, clipboards in hand, surveying the land with cold precision. Inspectors, Jake muttered, joining his grandfather. Probably sent to find violations, force us out legally. Harlan's eyes narrowed, the fire from months ago reigniting. He had won the battle, but the war for the soul of the farm was far from over. With the land now under community trust, Harlan felt a profound sense of peace mixed with vigilance. He spent mornings walking the fields, his steps slower, but his mind sharper than ever. Jake had transformed part of the barn into an educational center, teaching local kids about sustainable farming. This is your legacy, Grandpa, Jake said one day, as children planted seeds in the rich soil. Harlan nodded, his heart swelling with pride. Yet, The inspector's presence gnawed at him, a reminder that greed never truly sleeps. Mabel visited often, bringing books on land rights and herbal remedies for Harlan's aches. Their friendship had deepened, blossoming into a quiet companionship that filled the voids left by loss. "You've inspired me, Harlan," she confessed over coffee. "At my age, I thought adventures were over." He smiled faintly. "Age is just a number, Mabel. It's the spirit that counts." The inspector's reports came swiftly, citing fabricated issues, outdated structures, potential contamination from old fertilizers. The trust received notices demanding costly repairs or face condemnation. Harlan gathered the community again, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. "They think they can wear us down," he declared. "But we've got truth on our side." Support poured in donations, volunteers, even lawyers offering free services. Jake's online campaign reignited, hashtags like Save Willow Creek trending nationwide. Amid this tension, another twist emerged: the arrival of Elena, Victor's estranged daughter. She appeared at the farm one rainy afternoon, her designer clothes soaked, her eyes filled with remorse. "My father. He's ruined lives, including mine," she admitted, handing over a USB drive. "These are internal emails proving the sabotage." Elena, a whistleblower in hiding, had grown up witnessing Victor's ruthlessness and now sought redemption. Her revelation changed the game's dynamics, providing evidence of conspiracy that could topple Apex entirely. Harlan regarded her warily at first. "Why help now?" he asked. Elena's voice broke. "Because I see in you what my father lacks: humanity. He took my mother's inheritance the same way." Her story humanized the enemy, showing how greed poisoned families. Jake, ever the optimist, vouched for her after verifying the files. Together, they built a case, Elena's insider knowledge exposing bribes to officials. The kitchen peaked at a public hearing. Harlan testified, his words painting vivid pictures of the farm's worth beyond dollars. "This land fed soldiers in wars, sheltered families in storms. It's more than property, it's our shared story." Elena followed, her testimony damning Victor, tears streaming as she disowned his actions. The room erupted in applause, the inspector's claims dismantled. Victor, facing arrest, fled, but his downfall was complete. The farm secured grants for preservation, becoming a model for rural revival. Harlan mentored Elena, helping her find purpose and advocacy. "Forgiveness ain't easy," he told her, "but it's the seed of change." As summer faded, Harlan sat by Eliza's grave, recounting the victories. "We did it, love. The land lives on." The values of perseverance, community, and compassion shone brightly, a beacon for all. Yet, rumors of Victor's return stirred, hinting at darker plots. Whispers turned to warnings as autumn leaves fell, blanketing Willow Creek in hues of red and gold. Harlan sensed the shifting chill not from the weather, but from the undercurrents of malice resurfacing. Victor Langston, though in exile, had orchestrated a final gambit. Anonymous threats to the trust, sabotage attempts on the crops. One night, alarms blared as intruders scaled the fences, intent on poisoning the wells. Jake chased them off with farmhands, but the damage was done. Some fields withered overnight. Harlan, roused from sleep, stood amid the devastation, his heart aching. "They won't stop until they break us," he murmured. But breaking Harlan Whitaker was no easy feat. With Elena's help, they traced the sabotage to Victor's remnants, hired thugs from shadowy firms. The community rallied stronger, forming patrols and installing cameras funded by donations. Mabel delved into historical precedents, uncovering laws that could classify the attacks as eco-terrorism. "We've got the law on our side now," she assured. Jake and Elena grew close, their shared fight forging bonds. "You're like the daughter I never had," Harlan told her one evening, as they planned countermeasures. Her presence added emotional depth, reminding everyone of redemption's power. A subplot unfolded when Thomas, Harlan's son, finally returned, guilt-ridden. "I should have been here sooner, Dad." His arrival mended old wounds, Thomas using his corporate expertise to negotiate protective alliances with ethical developers. The climax built toward a confrontation. Intelligence revealed Victor's hideout in a nearby city. Harlan, against advice, insisted on facing him. This ends personally. Accompanied by Jake and Thomas, They met Victor in a dingy office, where the once arrogant man looked defeated. "You win, old-timer," Victor sneered. But Harlan's words cut deeper. "Winning ain't about land. It's about soul. Yours is bankrupt." Victor confessed, seeking leniency, his empire dissolved. Justice prevailed in court, Victor imprisoned, his assets auctioned to fund community projects. Willow Creek thrived, hosting festivals celebrating heritage. Harlan, at 91, saw his family united, Thomas staying to help, Jake and Elena planning a future together. The legend evolved, emphasizing forgiveness alongside cleverness. Harlan's story taught that true revenge heals, not harms, fostering growth from pain. But as winter approached, a new challenge loomed. Whispers of larger corporations eyeing the area. Snow blanketed Willow Creek, muffling the world in quiet reflection, but Harlan's mind raced with the echoes of battles won and those yet to come. The farm stood resilient, a testament to human spirit, yet corporate giants now circled, drawn by the publicity of Harlan's triumph. "They see opportunity in our story," Jake warned, poring over merger offers. Harlan refused to yield. "This land stays free." With his family's support, they expanded the trust into a cooperative, empowering locals against big business. Mabel chronicled the saga in a book, her words capturing the emotional tapestry: loss, rage, redemption. Elena's integration brought joy. She and Jake married under the oak, Harlan officiating with tears of happiness. Thomas reconciled fully, building eco-friendly additions. The twist deepened with the discovery of hidden artifacts on the land, ancient tools proving indigenous ties, granting federal protection. As threats mounted, Harlan orchestrated a masterful defense, partnering with national conservationists, turning the farm into a landmark. Public support surged, petitions flooding lawmakers. In the finale, facing the CEO of a megacorp, Harlan's eloquence prevailed. Greed devours, wisdom nourishes. The deal collapsed, the farm eternally safeguarded. Harlan passed peacefully at 92, buried beside Eliza, his legend immortal. The values he embodied: resilience, community, humanity lived on, inspiring generations. The end echoed with hope, a cycle complete.